I'm assuming you clicked on this video because your bird is sick, and today I'm going to be showing you how to save your bird's life and make them go from looking like this to this. So you're going to want to stick around and watch the entire video. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rincel and the name of this channel is Paradise Aviary. Here I'll share different tips and tricks that will eventually help you learn more about the birds that you keep and how to successfully breed them, whether that's in cages or in aviaries. Today's topic is going to be about the health of our birds. And one of the things that we all have to face is the fact that sooner or later we might find a bird that is sick. And this is something that is inevitable, especially in finches and birds that are small like these. They don't show many signs and symptoms prior to falling ill, so while 1 minute they may all look fine, you walk into the aviary 30 or 40 minutes later and you find something or a scenario similar to this, where you see one of your birds fluffed up on the cage floor or next to the food cup, like in this example, and you don't know exactly what may be wrong with the bird or what actions you should take. So hopefully in this video, I can help you figure those things out. One of the very first things that you want to do when you run into this scenario is you want to isolate the bird. The faster or sooner you can get this bird away from the rest of the flock, the better, because this way you avoid contaminating or infecting the other birds that are in that cage. So that is exactly what I'm doing with this female masked grass finch. All of a sudden, I found her like this early in the morning, and the best thing that I could do for her until I figure out exactly what is wrong with her is isolate her in a small hospital cage and give her an external source of heat. Now, the reason why we give them an external source of heat anytime that they are sick is because birds lose the ability to regulate their own body temperature when they fall ill. So the majority of the times when they get sick, they lose that ability. They can't regulate their body temperature, it drops, and then they end up dying due to this. Many times they die due to the fact that they are too cold and can't maintain that body temperature rather than the disease that they actually have. So this is why it is so important from the beginning to offer a heat source and keep them as warm as possible until you figure out exactly what may be wrong with that bird. I can't stress enough how important it is to have a heat bulb in your disposal ready for a situation like this. It's only been about an hour and a half since I separated the female from the rest of the birds, put her in the small hospital cage, and added the external heat source, and you can already see the difference in her behavior and how she looks. She went from being fluffed up to now she is very tight feathered and is acting a bit more alive. This will, in return, help her to start getting better sooner. Now, I haven't given her any sort of medication at all because I still don't know exactly what is wrong with her. One of the reasons why we isolate them into a small hospital cage is not only so that we don't spread the disease, but also so that we can examine their feces. I can pull out the bottom tray and take a look at it and see exactly how she's pooping, if it looks normal, if it's oddly colored, and from there try to come up with a diagnosis for a medication that I can give her. As you can see from this part of the video, the poop is not normal colored at all. It has more of a yellowish tone with hints of red in it, which leads me to believe that this could be a bacterial or chlamydial infection that the bird may have, or it could also be signs of coccidiosis because of the small hints of red that are inside of the poop. So right away, we know that this bird has to get treated with some sort of medication in order to help it. So although the heat bulb has helped it maintain itself alive because now we've been able to regulate the body temperature and keep it alive this way, we still have to treat it with the correct medication in order to treat the bird and save it. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the medication that I am going to be using in order to treat this bird, and this is an all-in-one powder, and it works amazing for a variety of different diseases in birds. Some of them being coccidiosis, canker, worms, and respiratory. Now, we don't know exactly what the bird has. We can only assume that based on the poop, she has some sort of bacterial or chlamydial infection. So if she has canker, we can treat that. If she has a bacterial infection affecting her respiratory, we'll be able to treat that as well. And if she does have the coccidiosis because she has those hints of red inside of the poop, this medication will take care of it. So what you want to do for this medication is it is dosed at 2 teaspoons per gallon for 5 days, and you have to change the water daily. And it contains Aproleum, Ronidazole, Levimasole, Tilang, and it also has probiotics to help the bird's gut flora replenish after giving it this medication, because after all, this is a combination of a variety of different antibiotics, and it can be somewhat hard on the gut flora of the intestines of these small birds, so that probiotic definitely helps them out. All right guys, now let's talk a little bit about how to mix this medication with the water. It says that the dosage is 2 teaspoons per gallon for 5 consecutive days, but you may not have to do a full gallon of this because you only have, like in my scenario, 1 bird that you have to treat. So when you do the math to mix this into a smaller scenario or to a smaller portion, not have to do a full gallon, what you need is a small 16-ounce bottle of water, and you're going to fill it up halfway, so you're going to have 8 ounces. And what you're going to do is you are going to use a 1/4 teaspoon, and you're going to mix half. So you're going to mix 1/8 of the all-in-one into 8 ounces of water. Or you can do a full 16 ounce of water mixed with 1/4 of a teaspoon of the all-in-one. So in my case, I'm only doing half. I'm only doing 8 ounces, so I have to mix half of this 1/4, which is 1/8, into the water. So as you can see, this is a very clear powder, and you just want to grab about half right there, put it inside of your water, and give it a good mix. And that is about it. Once you set it up this way, what you do is you give it to the birds that need it, and you have to do this on a daily basis. And this is exactly why I don't like to make large amounts. I only like to make about 8 ounces and give it to them, because you don't want to fill up the entire water cup. If you fill the entire water cup, it pretty much goes to waste. I do about half of the cup of it filled with this, because they're not going to drink all of it. The birds, I've seen that they don't like the taste of this medication, but it is something that they have to take in order to get better. Now keep in mind that this is the sole source of drinking water that you want to offer them for the full 5 days. You cannot give them any other source of drinking water, because you want to make sure that they take in the medication. Alright guys, well this is going to be the end of another video. I really hope that you have found this useful. Keep in mind that every time that a bird gets sick, it can be due to a variety of different problems, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the same problem that I had is what you're going to have. But keep in mind that when this does happen, the priority is to always give the bird an external source of heat. So the faster you're able to isolate this bird into a small hospital cage and give it some form of external heat, the better the chances you're going to have at saving that bird. Once you make sure that the bird has a good source of external heat, you can start to then focus on looking at how the bird may be pooping to try and diagnose the situation and see what medication you can treat them with. Like always, the best medications are going to be the all-in-ones, the 4-in-1s, the 3-in-1s, or like the ones that I have here. And these are usually a combinations of a variety of different antibiotics that treat a variety of different problems or common problems in birds. So you have a better chance of saving them when you do it this way, rather than just giving an antibiotic that treats one problem, because oftentimes that one may not be the right one for the bird or to treat the condition that it is going through. So you may have to try a variety of different antibiotics before you get to the correct one. And that's if you even get to the correct one, because many times the bird ends up dying from the disease or from giving it antibiotics that it doesn't really necessarily need in order to cure its problem. So like always, I hope that this video was helpful. If it was, remember to hit the like button, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, as this continues to support the channel and it motivates me to keep on making videos like this for the future. Like always, I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and we will see each other in the next video.